en la trayectoria del camino de los hijos de Israel por el desierto. Ellos tenían que estar siguiendo a la columna de fuego, la cual los estaba guiando por medio del profeta Moisés. Y la señal también que tenían
which they also had
en cuanto a continuar su trayectoria,
in terms of continuing their trajectory,
cuando
was
la columna de fuego
when the pillar of fire
se levantaba del tabernáculo
rose
y se
from the
movía,
tabernacle
había que seguir
and moved, and they had to
la columna de
follow
fuego,
the pillar of
que en la
fire,
noche les alumbraba
which
y en el día
lit or illuminated them at night, and on the
esa nube que
day
los cubría del sol,
when that cloud that
pues ellos se
that covered
detenían,
them
y
from
cuando
the sun
seguía, pues había que
stopped,
seguir. O sea que
they had to
no
stop,
podían
and
seguir
when
por
it
su
continued,
cuenta
they also had to continue. In other
en el
words,
camino
they could not
hacia la
continue
tierra
on their
prometida, sino
own
que tenían
way or on the road to the promised land
por medio
their way,
de la
but
guianza
rather they had an
del
entire
Espíritu de
order
Dios,
established
del
by
ángel del
God
pacto,
through the guidance of the Holy Spirit, of the angel of the covenant, in the midst of the Hebrew people, headed by
que
Moses.
se fue Moisés,
And after Moses left, God continued
obrando
to work
como siempre él
as
había obrado
he had
por
always
un
worked
hombre,
through
y
a
en ese
man.
caso era Josué.
And in that case, it was Joshua. Joshua was the divine guidance or the divine guide to continue the trajectory towards the promised land. When they stopped there, Joshua said, "Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders." There was a divine direction that the Hebrew people had to follow and listen to, those guidelines, those signs that in the time of Joshua and in the time of Moses, they were being displayed by God through his prophets. It is like when you take a man-made road, a shortcut, let's say, which is sometimes prepared to shorten the path, but which are not established by the government laws, and that they are temporary roads which are made to cross in a side to the other to reach a certain place, which is reached by the main road established by law. And they prepare those roads, and many times the stretch is much shorter. The shortcut is more shorter, but there are many dangers. I remember one time when we were going to a certain place, and I said to Brother William, "Look, here it's closer." And he told me, "No, continue on the main road." And there he was speaking, he was telling me about certain things corresponding to the divine program. And there, I understood many things which were showing me with that simple way, a simple example of the roads. And one of them was, look, when one takes a road that is shortened and made by man to get to a certain place, in that shortcut there are certain dangers, and there are no signs to prevent those dangers. For example, when one goes on the main road, there are signs that say stop, others that say an arrow that shows that there is a closed curve to another place or corner, another that there is an arrow or detour with many curves, another that says give way, that is to give way, and countless signs which on the roads which are shortcuts, they don't have those signs. And when one is on those shortcuts where there is supposed to be a stop, since the traffic signal is not there, one continues straight and there is a hole or like a gulf in front. end, that is where it goes when it is necessary to stop. Same in the part where there is a closed curve. And like when you are on the main road, you see those signs and take caution knowing that this sign indicates that there is a closed curve. It can be to the left or to the right, and one goes with caution. But on those provisional roads, there is no sign. And there can be a sharp corner which is coming up soon, and you go at a speed and don't slow down. You can go straight and you can hit a tree. If you can't see it, if it is night and there is no, and there could be like a big hole or a gulf, you see? And all these things in the divine program, those signs are needed in order not to get ahead of ourselves and not to stumble on the way to the promised land. Because when you have to stop, when the pillar of fire stops, there is already a stop signal. And you have to stop. You can't continue because you don't know the way. Just as those who take that shortcut, they don't know the way. They feel their way. They know that this road, it goes to a certain place. But they grope around to see where it is. If there is a corner, if there is a speed bump, if there is a hill, and then a steep descent, you see. Since there are no signs, they don't know the way. They don't know the way. There are no traffic signs to guide them with security towards their destination, because they can make many mistakes and they can even lose their lives, both the one who guides and those who go in the car. In other words, the responsibility of the one who guides a passenger in that car which is moving, the one who is driving, going along that road, shortening the road to get to the place, is responsible for those who go in the car, being able to go by the road or to bypass the road, where all the traffic signs are. Does it take a little longer? Well, it is better to follow the traffic laws and signs and arrive safely. This is also the case in the divine program. And this is how it was in the time of Moses when they left for the promised land. And each minister is responsible for guiding his people that God has given him to shepherd, guiding them along the main road with the signs that God already has to show his people through a prophet, to lead them those promises that he has for the time in which that minister and that congregation have lived. And so in all congregations, in our time as well, the minister is also responsible for not taking them along a road of shortcuts where they can lose their lives. In other words, life in the spiritual field, which is the last death that occurred there before leaving Egypt. In that liberation, physical death was the last, and here it is the spiritual death, and then death in the lake of fire. In other words, we have to be very careful not to lead the people down through the shortcuts. That is why God has had in each age and in each dispensation, has had messengers, prophets, to guide the people to the promises that He has for each time. The road that leads us to the promised land. We can put that as a topic for this simple sharing, in which we see that God always has an order for everything, and how in this simple way we can show how God also works in the program that is carrying out. May God bless you and may God keep you all.